Hello YouTube, this is ChardarYuGiOh, and today I just want to talk about some really annoying questions that I get asked a lot by people online in chat rooms and even by a couple of people at locals. Now, I want to clarify that especially for people at my locals and in general, I want to be helpful. I want to make people better at the game. If they want my advice on something or they just want my opinion on something, I'll give it to them. That's fine. I link my Skype in most of my videos just so if anyone does want to talk to me, they can. But at some point, it just becomes absolutely ridiculous, and you think people should just start answering some questions themselves, or at least making some effort to answer questions themselves. And so I'm just going to run by 3 or 4 questions that really get to me. The first one is, what should I put in my deck? First off, I don't know. Unless you're asking about Clifforts or Mermails, for this format, I'm probably not going to be able to help you. And even then, those are very standard decks to play. If you just want my opinion on one card, maybe I can tell you, but there's no reason if you're just starting out you can't look up a list online and determine for yourself what's good or how to play the deck. I mean, I had a guy at locals who messaged me for pretty much a week asking me how to play Clifforts, and Clifforts are probably the easiest deck to play that's just been out in this year. For all of 2014, Clifforts were the easiest deck to come out. That's a really annoying question, and I pretty much just didn't answer it. Next question. What do you think will be banned or hit limited, whatever? I don't know. And I get really annoyed when people get into huge arguments over the ban list online. I'm in the Zodiac Duelist. I see the absolute worst of it. Oh, and I was on Pojo before Zodiac Duelist was a thing. So I have pretty much no tolerance for ban list discussion. I post my opinions, and if people want to watch them, that's great. And I post them because they're easy videos to make and people watch them. But I really don't want to argue. If you're buying an expensive deck that's an expensive meta deck, it's probably going to be hit at some point. That's just common sense. Next question, is this a good thing to buy? Usually booster boxes. Now, I had a friend who's just coming back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Who asked me what box he should buy the other day, and I told him, don't buy a box. Because that's pretty much the right answer for that question. If you want to buy a box, you're buying a box because you want a box that's fun to open, and you just want some random cards. That's fine, buy whichever one you want, and has the cards that you're interested in buying. But a box is a terrible investment. It's a terrible way to spend your money, it's a terrible way to make money. So I highly suggest not doing it. I post a lot of pack openings on my channel because my friends and I open packs, and we think it's fun, but we're not doing it because we think it's a good way to make money or even a good way to spend money. So if you're asking what box you should buy or what product you should buy, just buy the singles. I sell cheap singles at my locals, and there's plenty of people online and eBay, TCG Player, all those places. Just go there. It's so much easier. And that leads me up to the final question that just drives me absolutely insane. How do I start vending, or how do I start making money off of Yu-Gi-Oh? You go to your local store and you ask for a job. If they say they're not hiring, you're probably out of luck. I'm sorry, but realistically, unless you work for a store or have an extremely popular YouTube channel, you're probably not going to be able to make a significant amount of money, or money that'll be worth your time playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not as a hobby. You spend money on it, maybe you sell some cards, make some of that money back, but you're not going to be making a living playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Unless you're Patrick Hoban or you work for a store or something like that. So if you want to sell Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, ask your local card store if they're hiring. See if they have a job that you can do for them, or if they're a bigger store, maybe you can start vending events for them after you've worked for them for a while. But don't come here asking me, how do I start vending? Because, first off, I don't know. I don't vend cards. It's not something I'm willing to invest that much time into doing. I'm a full-time college student. I have 17 credit hours. I have a TCG player store to get rid of some of my extra cards. I have my dollar binders that I do every now and then, and I sell cards at locals, but that pays for my gas to go to locals pretty much. Like, I'm not making a living doing that. It's not fantastic money, and I don't recommend putting all that time in to get to that point because, quite frankly, it's just not worth it. You're going to devote like all of your free time to selling cards to make a few bucks a day, and maybe you can feed yourself for that, but you're not going to pay rent off of it or buy lots of nice things, buy video games, whatever you want. And it just eats up way too much of your time you could spend playing video games or playing with friends or just doing better things. So don't ask me how to start making money off Yu-Gi-Oh, because it's really just not a worthwhile thing. And maybe I can do another video talking about just that, but for now, post what you think down below, what people say that just drives you nuts, and peace out, YouTube.